also. Hello. Hi guys, thank you for coming. So let me start to introduce myself a little bit. My name is Artem. I'm working in Manychat for 2 years. So mostly of these 3 years I'm working in the AI area. 2 years ago we started as a small team of 3 engineers. Now we have entire AI area with 15 plus people. So I'm working as a senior backend engineer here. And overall, I have like 10 plus years of experience in IT sphere in different spheres like fintech, edtech. Now I work in Manychat. So what about me? I'm living here in Barcelona for 6 months with my wife and daughter. I really like to live in Spain because I like to play guitar and I really like the flamenco guitar. Hope I will find opportunity to learn it more. So, and this is my first such big presentation in English. So, thank you for coming. So, what I talk about today. 2 years ago, we created the AI assistant for our clients. It was like some kind of experiment for us. And today I will not talk directly about AI, but I will talk about how we build it and integrated OpenAI APIs into our PHP product, and what was our journey, how we moved from assistant API to chat completions with function calling. So once again about Manychat, you think not the first time here and hear about it a lot, and Anton already presenting, so it's how it looks. We are the leading chat marketing portal. So here is a small example how it works in Instagram and how it helps people. So first of all, let's speak a little bit why we decided to use AI. What wants we to change. So on this slide you can see how Manychat usually looks for our clients. They can build the automated conversation inside our product. It's like not a related flow builder, and as you can see in this scenario, you can. What we want to do with subscribers, like say for them hello, and then collect some information from them, like email, phone number, and everything is okay. We just say thank you and goodbye. And why we decide to use AI here? Because so the automations looks pretty simple, but it's not so simple then they are working, because there are a lot of points of failure. Users, for example, can ask something unexpected from automation, and bots can confuse, or user can skip the steps, and it also will provide that the flow will break. From other side, of course, you can set up everything in this flow builder, but it could be complicated. And we try to replace all this logic with one node that we call AI step, and under the hood it's AI assistant for users that can provide the whole conversation with a subscriber. It can start conversation, do whatever user wants, and after it finish the conversation. And a user just needs to define the goal, what he wants from the AI assistant. And here you can see that we want to collect some information from the subscriber, such as email and phone number. Of course, we can define some context for AI assistant, just in case if user will ask some questions, and AI will answer and still keep the conversation. And then you have to define the steps which AI assistant will follow one by one to achieve the main goal. So that was our idea and how we implemented. When we started, the OpenAI just released the new API that's called Assistant API, and on the paper it looks like that it will solve all our problems, because we don't need to store any state on our site. It will be stored everything about on the OpenAI side. It has built-in fleet management, and we can persist conversation history inside the OpenAI. And how it works for us. So first of all, when we creating and set up an AI step node, we under the hood create the assistant on the OpenAI side. And then when some of subscribers want to have a conversation with the AI step, we just run a new conversation with this assistant. And we will work a little bit close on it, how it works. So that's just a simple schema, how the assistant API works for us. First of all, we need to create a thread. Then the trigger run. That's something that model on the OpenAI side doing and generate the response. Then we fetch the ready message, then the run is completed, and just send it for subscriber. So we start from the assistant message, and then subscriber will answer for us. We just add this message to the history on OpenAI side, and then proceed with whole process, like trigger run, wait while it is sending, and then fetch the messages. So that's like a schema how it's implemented in our PHP product. As you can see, the all blue boxes is the request calls to OpenAI. So it was work for us. We achieved some amazing results. But with all this process, we faced with some problems. Then we start using it. Of course, first of all, it was slow response generation because we have to make a lot of requests to get only one message from the AI assistant. It's like about 5-10 requests to generate one message. Why 5-10? Because then run is started on OpenAI to generate the message. We using polling mechanism to understand then its ends and when we will be ready to get the new messages. And because of that API, only specific for OpenAI, we can't switch to another provider of AI if something goes wrong with OpenAI. And as we see, it's a lot of calls, it's a lot of points of failure. And of course, we have some problem with AI. It's most common problems. Let's think in the head for 5 seconds. I drink some water. So the problem is that it's hard to work with model hallucinations. It's, of course, if we're talking about AI, that's sometimes it's produced not so good result as we expected. And in with schema, it's really hard to regenerate the message because it's already stored on OpenAI, and we first of all need to remove it and then run another generation. It's can take a lot of time. So we working with it, I think, about in 1 month, and understand that we want to improve it somehow. Means we ask ourselves, what if we stop relying on OpenAI and store all the conversation history on our side. And as the next step, we try to use the chat completions API because it's pretty simple, it's stateless, and the model generates response based on what we pass on this API. And it's really simple and flexible. It's easy to integrate into any stack with minimal setup. So what's changed for us? First of all, we started storing all conversation history on our side. And now we have a full control on the process. And we can easily migrate if it needs to different model providers. So instead of the schema of our communication was simplified. In just this, and as we can see, we have only one call to OpenAI or different provider to generate the message. So here, if we want to switch between different providers, if we have some problems with OpenAI, we can switch to Azure OpenAI, for example, as a provider to the same models, and we can do it during the one conversation because we store all state on our side. So just to to compare how it looks, then we use it in assistant API. It's the schema of communication was pretty hard, and now it's simplified. After that, we simplify the schema. We understand that we want to get a better result from the models, because before we just ask the model to answer to us in a JSON, and it works, but not so good, because sometimes models was hallucination and return to us not that result that we expected. So we try in function calling. It's like a mechanism that you can provide some function into the model, then you call it, and it's structured the model output as we define the JSON schema and pass it, and just get what we need. So as we want to have a conversation with the subscriber, we just need the next message in this conversation. We need the conversation status, of course, is it ongoing or completed? And we need some information about our tasks, what we already collected from the subscriber, if we want, of course. From code perspective, it's works pretty simple. We just build the answer from the model and use it in our processing part. So we want what's improved for us in these moments. First of all, of course, we got faster responses, because before we have to spend from 10-15 seconds to generate on one message, and then we switch to chat completions. It took only 1-2 seconds. Of course, we had a fewer requests to generate messages. Before it was 6-10, now it's only one request. We simplify our architecture, and as I said, we had easier fallback. We can scale our solution if we need. So let's a little bit wrap it up. So we started from a system API. It was great on the paper, but not so good when we started using it. But it's still, I think, great if you want to prototype your ideas, or you use like some simple use cases. If you don't want to manage the state on your site, if latency isn't critical for you, but opposite for it, it's chat completions looks better for us. Because with chat completions we have full control on this process. We can fall back on any providers, and we can improve our output from the models. So that's all from my side. If you have any questions, I'm here to answer. Thank you.
Yeah. And I'd like to mention, for the best question, we have some prizes. So, yeah. The same? No, it's some different.
Yes.
Thank you for the talk. I want to ask, not maybe the differences between the cost between the two solutions, but how the operations behind it. So, how you optimized not only the technology, the engineering, but also cost, because of course, working with AI comes with.
Yeah, thank you. It's a good question. If you're talking about the cost, the main thing is the cost of the model that we used. During this journey, we changed some models, and this is really the cost. But if you talk about the cost to generate the message, the price will be the same if you use assistant API or you use the chat completions API, because under the hood, assistant API do the same thing. It took the whole history and produced the next message, and that's what we're doing with chat completions API. But we pass all the history from our side. Yes. But yeah, I want to clarify here, if we work with different providers, we still using the same models, and the cost depends from what model do you use.
I'm guessing in the two situations you are asking you're looking for the same information, the email and the phone of the
Mhm.
subscriber, of the customer. This maybe is not, it doesn't require only a single message. Maybe you need to go back and forth a few times until the customer actually give you the information that you want, right?
Mhm.
Do you have like a way to say, stop, abandon this customer because it's been talking with the chat bot for a long time and it's not going to give us any information? And
You mean if subscriber don't want to share email, for
yeah,
example?
maybe he start to ask about, I don't know, describe to me the origin of life or the meaning of life or something like that. And you start to send a
Yeah, well,
longer
of course.
history.
If it's most the question about how we prompt our assistant, and it's
Yeah, how do you get out of it? How do you, like, you have an if condition to stop the loop between the human
Yeah, yeah.
customer and the
it's
AI?
just we set up it in this way that it will not answer you outside the context that user provides to assistant.
Yeah, okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
Hi, thank you for your talk.
Thank you.
I have my question is, I guess you have many tools, and I think with AI things are moving really fast. At which moment will you consider structure your tools into an MCP? Or have you guys already done that? Or is not needed in this case? And if not needed, why? So it's many questions.
Thank you for the question. Since that moment, everything has changed. We continue our journey. Now we're using different tools as a structure output, as you mentioned. As I know, we didn't use any MCP servers. And that's all.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you for the talk. My question is about, I just want to get a better understanding. If you are now managing the history on your side, does that mean that then you need to send the context on every new request to get a new response from the new API?
Yes, for this feature, it works in this way. Yeah.
And will that represent an issue depending on the volume of the conversation, on the size of the conversation at some point?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about, but we so now we don't face with these problems. Like if you have the big conversation and weekends, they perform the requests. Our conversation not so long, and we limited the context that user can provide to this feature.
Okay, thank you.
Anyone else? No, of course.
Good evening, my name is Alex. I have actually two questions.
Okay.
First of all, you mentioned that you were doing polling service, so you were waiting for the response of the OpenAI side. I'm not really familiar with OpenAI API, sorry, but all other providers that I saw also provides Stream API. So not only just polling and waiting for response, but opening a channel and waiting for the data from their side. Why did you choose polling over the streaming?
Yeah.
Or there is no option of streaming?
It's a good question. When we started using Assistant API, there is no streaming mechanism, only polling.
Okay.
So they added them a little bit later. Then we decided to switch from the Assistant API.
Well, that explains a lot. And actually, the second question, not very technical, but about have you ever tried to change personality of the model while answering to your customers? Because I had some experience, like, could you please make response like Feynman did, or could you please make response like Fowler did? And actually, it works like shit, to be honest. So I was thinking like maybe it will change this default very plain structure of the answers to maybe some more colorful, but it doesn't work. Have you ever tried such things?
Yes, for this feature that we created, the step, a user can set up this information context, and it's will kind of work. So we are not stopping with it. We're now developing next features, and in our next features there is the setup of tone of voice that AI will answer exactly as a user.
Okay, thank you very much.
Hi, thanks for the talk. I have two questions probably. One is how do you deal with the hallucinations? And second one, how do you deal or do you thought about the prompt injection from users and from your customers and others?
Thank you. That's also a good question about AI. So about hallucinations, we expect the answer with in some structure, and if it's not suitable, we just try to make another request. And of course, we have a limit of these retries, and usually it helps us to get what we want. And of course, sometimes we got not so good result. That's the assistant don't follow to the context, for example, and we try to improve the quality of our solution. About prompt injections, the prompt is designed in that way that you can provide such injections.
Thank you, Artem.